Welcome to the Take It Home podcast so bad we really should just take it home. I am one of your hosts, Doc Simmons. You can find me on all social media at Doc Simmons 17. And if you like me and my partner, Zach Kendricks, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Country Air Official and Twitter at Country Air Brand. And I will go ahead and introduce the best referee in the Midwest. Go ahead.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Ref Perch. You can find me at Perch XLV, # for the Ref Brand, and Waffles. Take It Home podcast.
Waffles all around. Was on the move this weekend, so not much in the way of breakfast. How about you, Perch?
Man, we got Waffle House last weekend. I hit up some Cracker Barrel for some pancakes this weekend. I've been living it up. Good coffee, good cakes.
Surviving off of protein shakes this past weekend.
Liquid diet.
And also tonight we have a very special guest. Big Wisconsin wrestling fan, big supporter of all indie wrestling. Why don't you introduce yourself?
It's your boy High Five Tom. High Five Tom from on the Twitter machine of the Midwestern Wrestling Roundup podcast. Also marking out with High Five Tom. I've got a couple different podcasts on there, but it's not about me, it's about you guys. But I'm just honored to be
today on. You are the guest, baby. It is all about you.
I don't know. When you say special, it's more short bus special. But, so, whatever works. But yeah, I'm honored. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Hey, no problem. Love having you on. But we got to start the way we always start. Perch, give us a banger of the week. We missed you last week.
Yeah, banger of the week. Well, let's just say this week, I heard the song on Friday, and it's still in my head till today. Definitely a banger of the weekend and a banger of the week going into this week. None other than All Night Long. Banger of the week, banger of the night, Friday night. Still playing in my head nonstop.
All right. I am sure we will get into that a little bit later, but you know what? We have the ultimate wrestling fan on here, and I think it would be a waste to not get your perspective. How did you feel about that entrance on Friday?
Dude, there was a lot of questions. We were wondering, like, who's going to be the third man? And once that music popped, dude, I mean, that fucking place exploded.
Yep.
It's always a hot crowd in there anyways, but yeah, I mean, like Perch says, it gives me goosebumps just thinking about it. And just great energy, really got the crowd right. I mean, set the bar super high all night.
Yeah.
But yeah, just high energy, and it translated into the match.
So that was my first time seeing him live. I've seen Swerve live at AEW before, and he always gets a huge reaction on his Shaka Khan entrance, but I think that was on a whole nother level.
Yeah, and it'd been a while because he got injured was in November, if I remember correctly. So it's been about 5-6 months since he's been there. He came right through our seats. I mean, he came right through the crowd, and like I said, it really translated into the match too. I mean, First and I were talking a little earlier about that my favorite match of the night. Besides the second match of Alive, obviously.
obviously.
It was awesome. I mean, he really got the crowd going, and those 6 guys were just magic.
Yeah.
I love every single person involved in that match, including the referee. So
definitely. Yeah, that was a very hype moment on Friday. Very happy I was a part of it.
Yeah, and listen, it doesn't really translate. I mean, that's definitely something you got to be in the building to see.
Yeah.
You see it on camera, but it didn't translate. It was fucking electric.
To me, that was one of those moments that exemplifies that the fans make wrestling. If that only works because all of y'all were into it. It's only a type of one because all of y'all were into it.
Yeah. All night. We were all night long.
Yeah, that was hype. That was hype.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the dance off at the beginning of the match.
Yep.
Yeah. Kudos to everybody, man. So yeah, it was awesome. I can't talk enough about it. So
No, yeah, those 6 guys are amazing. All right. So this is where we usually talk about what we've watched on TV the past week. Tom, it's like I'm very excited to know about the shows you were going into, that you traveled along. I heard you said you were on the road like us this past weekend. I know it was tiring, but what have you been watching on the TVs and internets lately?
Actually, I went back. Speaking of AEW, I'm kind of going back a little bit. So I watched the Windy City Classic 2018,
Okay.
which was my first Windy City Classic at AEW. And then, not to put myself over, but I've been watching a lot of Ring of Honor for the podcast and everything. So so we watched the Unity taping from 2012, and then I just been watching Kevin Steen promos all week. The Ring of Honor, Kevin Steen, it's magic.
No, yep. When I was getting into indie wrestling, Kevin Steen versus Silas promos were
Nice.
ones
Yeah.
I was watching a lot of.
Yeah, trying to catch up on New Japan, but I'm just I went back and watched the Windy City Classic because being there live, you kind of miss stuff, and caught up on Impact. Yeah, mostly it's Ring of Honor and AEW.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. Like I said, yeah, the Steen and Silas, that was one of those things that kept my interest in wrestling when I was getting into it. Impact is so underrated.
Yeah,
just consistent.
I unfortunately knew about now spoiler alert. So if you don't know, but yeah, the main event for that pay-per-view. I mean, I knew what happened, but I still popped when it did.
Yeah,
when I watched it, because Josh Alexander, dude's just on another fucking level.
Yeah.
And a great human being. Such a nice guy. Every time I talked to him, so yeah, I saw him Friday, and I was like, "Hey, yeah, I'll see you tomorrow." He kind of chuckled. I walked to him Saturday, he's like, "Holy shit, you weren't kidding." So he's like, "How was the drive, man?" I was like, "It was good." So, of all the people he met, he remembered. So, yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, Impact's super underrated.
Yeah. Perch, what have you been watching?
Man, caught a good main event from Rampage over the week. Samoa Joe defending that ROH title against Trent Beretta. Just a good match. Samoa Joe really claiming dominance. I enjoy every bit of that. Seeing that ROH title, Bobby Cruz announcing, Ian Riccaboni on commentary, and at the end, Jay Lethal coming out with his guys in the Monster. I just really like the influx of ROH and AEW and the way they find ways to incorporate it and to keep it in there. Really enjoyed. Went back and watched some classic era 2002 wrestling. The Rock against Triple H, and it was a good Raw main event. And no DQ, but Brock Lesnar got involved. Shawn Michaels got involved. All hell broke loose. Rock chases Lesnar out the building. Shawn Michaels and Triple H start brawling. It just goes to a no finish. And then the next one was The Rock teaming up with Hulk Hogan against the Un-Americans, Christian and Lance Storm. It was such a great setup.
Yep,
I thought about you right away, Dre. And they had Test as their heater on the outside. So it was 2-on-3, essentially 2-on-2, but with Test on the outside with Rock and Hogan. I mean, can you imagine a better set of baby faces in pro wrestling? And that crowd was just electric the entire time. And the technical ability of Lance Storm is just on, precise. Everything they did, drawing Mike Chioda, the referee, into position and out of position perfectly. You had so much experience in that ring. And it was just 6 guys working together, referee included, and test managing outside included. Just a well-oiled machine. And sure enough, Hulk Hogan ends up with the big boot, leg drop, going for the 1, 2, 3, and out of nowhere, Brock Lesnar pulls him up by the hair, hits him with an F5. Boom. No finish. Just classic era.
Yeah.
Classic 02 era leading into that SummerSlam, I think, is the vibe I got.
Okay.
With Triple H and Michaels
review
on the Smack. With Triple H and Michaels kind of brawling at the end of Raw, and Hogan and Rock on SmackDown at the end, and Lesnar getting involved. Great wrestling though. Love.
Yeah, that Triple H Shawn Michaels match they had when Shawn Michaels came back. Wow, SummerSlam that year was fucking something else. Yeah. You know, and you're like, wow, how is Shawn Michaels even gonna walk after this? But man, sorry, yeah.
No. Yeah. That's second peak Shawn Michaels right there. So you can't go wrong. Man, yeah. We've been lucky enough to have like 3 or 4 of them. That's the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in that era, I mean, talking about, shoveling coal into my wrestling train, shovel it, just firing up the engine. I was, 10, 12 years old, just absolutely loving pro wrestling. And these kind of feuds and personalities and characters are coming in with such fire. And that was a big part of me falling in love with professional wrestling and continuing to fall in love with wrestling. Loved it.
All right. We have been joined by the man with the most luscious hair in wrestling. Why don't you introduce yourself, brother?
Yes, sir. Zach Hendricks. The doc has already. Z Hendricks brand, Country Air official for Facebook and Instagram, and Country Air brand for Twitter.
I got it right. I think that's the first time I got it right.
Hey.
All right. Hate to put you in the hot seat because you just joined, but what have you been watching this week, brother?
Not a lot. Busy week, but I did catch a little bit of the AEW. I know Perch touched on it, but like Trent Beretta with Samoa Joe, really enjoying like that Ring of Honor trying to get the spotlight. I was listening to a podcast and someone was suggesting like with Rampage, they like took out Rampage and did like a AEW presents ROH, like, and wondering how that would affect like the wrestling community. Just to have like Ring of Honor kind of more on the national scene. What would you guys think? Do you guys think Rampage is a good spot and like trying to find Ring of Honor or something else? Or do you think like if they replace Rampage with Ring of Honor? Like, I don't know.
The problem with Rampage is that it's Friday night at 9:00.
Sometimes.
Yeah, like that's or 10:00, whenever it airs. That's Rampage's problem. It's in a horrible time slot. So even if you change it to ROH, I don't think that'll change.
Yeah, I don't think that's what I thought. I was thinking, Ring of Honor, if anything, they can always try to.
No, I mean, I think it would be great to, have Ring of Honor back, but I just think if you replace Rampage, that doesn't solve Rampage's big problem overall, which is
plus we'll get Mark Henry saying it's time for the main event.
I mean, hey, that is over. I was very surprised. He stuck with it. That's one of those where he just stuck with it, because I can remember the first time I watched the first Rampage, and the first 8 in a row. I remember when he first did it. And I was like, well, that was awkward, but now, it's over. I love it too.
No, that's what I meant. Like, I wasn't like making a joke of that. I meant like, it's kind of I like Mark Henry's little touch to that. It's a special thing with Rampage.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. They just that's the thing. It's like they need to move Rampage, but where do they move it?
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's a weird time slot, but like even they did it right before SmackDown because it's not so late. Because SmackDown ends at 9. So if Rampage is at like 6 to 7, maybe that might be like prime spot.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, do you guys watch Rampage live, or because I watch very, very little actually any wrestling in real time. So I always wondered how that affects the quote unquote ratings. 'Cause I always catch it a day or two later.
The like playbacks come out later. Like they do take those into account, but that comes out later.
Okay.
I rarely catch Rampage live.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
I
know.
really catch everything live. I just like when I do a lot of car rides, I listen to the Wrestling Inc. podcast. I like to listen to like their thoughts on like stuff in that situation.
No, yeah. You're like, I mean, yeah, the highlights and podcasts are key for keeping up with a lot of this stuff. But yeah, Rampage is just in such a bad time slot that it's hard to catch it live for me at least.
Yeah, it's so inconsistent too. I mean, sometimes on Saturday, I mean, I get it's part of their contract, but
Yeah.
I just me just being the huge Ring of Honor mark, I just want Ring of Honor to come back and succeed.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I would like it to succeed as well. I think so that's why I don't think they'll replace Rampage with it. What they should do is probably either move Dark or Dark Elevation to YouTube on Friday and move Rampage to Monday or Tuesday.
yeah. So
It's like
I have no problem with time slots. So nowadays, whether I'm watching it through my phone or an iPad or the TV itself, it could be on at 3 a.m. on a Wednesday afternoon or a Sunday at whatever. That TV's catching it, recording it, and I'm watching it.
well, if every wrestling fan was as dedicated as you, all promoters would be making money. Perch. but I can remember because like time slots matter, because there was a time when like Family Guy used to air on Friday, and that was like it got canceled one of those times. That Friday night is hard.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and that's what killed Ring of Honor the first time, because you never knew when it was on. It was always on at like 9 o'clock on a Sunday night, or it'd be 1 o'clock Sunday morning, or
Yeah,
it's got to be. There's nothing else consistent. But
at least, yeah. And
I remember walking into a gas station at maybe 2 a.m. A few years ago, and Ring of Honor was on UPN. And my brother and I were walking in to grab, a last call at the gas station, and we watched the Hardy Boys at the time. We're like, oh my God, some ROH on channel 14.
yeah,
And we still remember that to this day. So even if it's a random time slot, it'll catch you at the right time. So I enjoy that stuff.
no, yeah,
Coming to
it's
work
good
out
for
2
us.
a.m. and something's on, and whoa,
Look,
I love the random
I would
surprises.
love for WWE to bring back Sunday Night Heat and Velocity in those shows. I don't think that's going to happen because I'm the only one watching them. I loved Velocity. Velocity was such a good time slot when I was a kid. That Saturday night wrestling, loved it.
I love Sunday Night Heat.
Velocity was Saturday. Sunday Night Heat was Sunday.
Was I meant like Velocity and Sunday Night Heat were on the same level, but I always like enjoyed the Sunday Night Heat especially when Stevie Richards was like the general manager.
And then they used to have when it was on like a pay-per-view Sunday, they would have like stories bleed into the pay-per-view. It was great.
Yeah, I enjoyed. That was like the first time I actually saw Frankie Kazarian, because when he started out, he was on doing Velocity.
You can find a lot of hidden gem matches on like Velocity and Sunday Night Heat. There's AJ Styles versus Shane Helms on Sunday Night Heat.
Ooh,
yeah,
that was fun.
Yeah, love me some Shane Helms.
Yeah, that dude's super. Well, that's another guy that's super underrated.
Yeah, super underrated, and people steal from him all the time. I steal from him all the time. Love me some Shane Helms.
Yeah, and he's got such a great brain for the business too. So.
Oh yeah,
is he still with WWE as a writer?
He was a producer.
Okay.
I think they hired him back, because I know he was one of the people that got released, and I believe they did hire him back.
Okay.
Because I'm pretty sure he's still there.
Yeah.
All right, now for some exciting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Tom, how was your weekend?
My weekend was pretty eventful, I guess you could put it. Friday, as we previously discussed, I came down with some friends for AEW's Never Say Die at one of my personal favorite venues, 115 Bourbon Street. Saw a great card. Saw my boys here, Doc and Zach, make their AEW debut.
Sure.
Was super fucking stoked for that. So and we can swear on here, right? Or you want
Yeah,
me to
yeah.
Okay. I thought
Nobody's
so.
saying us.
Okay. But yeah, it was just a great show. Great friends. Good to see a bunch of people. A lot of my favorite others. I mean, I got to see my boy Matt Fitchett. Josh Alexander, Fred Yehai, Mike Bennett. Silas and Manders almost killed each other.
Just want to take a second. Shout out to Matt Fitchett. He was awesome to us all weekend and was
Nice.
like just an awesome vet all weekend.
Yeah.
So just want to say
If Matt Perch ever listens to this, I highly doubt it, but if he does,
he's not.
there's a moment. Doc and I were at AEW in the locker room. We're changing, and it's like tradition for wrestlers. We all say hi and like talk. Fitchett walks by us and like shakes our hand. And he's like, "Hey, you guys are at 0-1 tomorrow with me, right?" And we're like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, awesome! Like, congrats, guys!" And like as he walks away, Doc and I, we're big fans of the besties in the world. We've told Fitchett to his face we want that match one day. When he walked away, we both, as a joke, both as schoolgirls. He's like, he knows us.
Yeah.
It was a very like, as girly as that sounds, and as schoolgirlish as it sounds, like the fact that like he kind of recognized us and like knew who we were was like, oh, it's cool. Like we're getting on that radar. But Matt Fitchett was super cool. Been cool all weekend. We'll probably go over that when we talk about our weekend recap. But yeah, Fitchett, super cool guy.
Yeah, when you posted that on the Twitter machine today, Zach, I was pretty fucking stoked, man. So that dude's awesome, and being the mark that I am, just watching the run he had 2021 after him and Vega kind of split up, culminating with winning the Lineman tournament, then winning the title. So stoked. Yeah, I'm a huge Matt Fitchett mark. But after that, I departed and drove solo down to St. Louis. I rolled into St. Louis about 5 a.m. I double booked the hotel. I didn't realize the first hotel that I got didn't have late check-in, so I had to book a second one, but it was too late for a refund because your boy Tom doesn't know how to fucking read his fucking emails. But
Reading's hard. It's okay.
Yeah, letters and stuff. But then Saturday I get to meet up with my buddy Jason and Bill from the band from Ringside Podcast, and caught some Grandel wrestling in the Grandel Theater in St. Louis. Another stack card. Shout out to Joey O'Farrell. He's the promoter. It's his first show and everything. So beautiful venue. But got to see the aforementioned Josh Alexander again. Moose is on the card. Silas Young was there. So I was the only person cheering for Silas because, being the only person Milwaukee, I had to fight a bunch of people with all the fuck Milwaukee chants. But, yeah, just a great time. And then capped off main event, my boy, one of my personal favorites, who were retired when I got back into wrestling, Davey Richards was on the card. And anytime I could see that guy, growing up, I'm a little bit older, but growing up watching the British Bulldogs, so you got that Dynamite Kid lineage, and then you go to Chris Benoit, and then Davey Richards is definitely the next evolution. And that guy's just fucking money. Yeah, and then I went.
That's on like another level right now.
Yeah, it's just he fights Will Ospreay at Warrior next month. So yeah, that was great. So shout out to Grandel Wrestling and great job, Joey. Hung out with my boy JCB. We hung out at the after party, and then went back to my hotel room, took a nap, and then drove up to Waukegan, Illinois for All Heel Wrestling's third show. Had a great time. Got to see Fletch Malone defend his title against Mateo Valentine, who was one of my new favorite wrestlers. I love that kid.
Mateo's real fun.
Yeah. I just love his I don't give a fuck attitude. So I can respect that. So, and then I got to see my good friend in real life, Greg Murray, also known as Moondog Murray. wrestle. Dysfunction was there. Co-host of the Take It Home podcast, Baxter Belafonte and Gunnar Wicks beat the piss out of each other. Yeah, when I came home, so I had a more eventful weekend than usual, but it was awesome. So, and congratulations, like I said, to you guys for making your debut, man. I was fucking stoked. So,
thank you. Zach, yeah, let's talk about it. Friday we made our debut for AEW.
Yes, sir. But before we do that, Tom, you like are congratulating us, but there's things that us as wrestlers we do a lot of, but we want to say to the fans like, hey man, like they're like, why aren't you here? And Tom's the type of guy, he was like, why aren't you guys here yet? And he pushed on Twitter so much AAW book country to the point where I'm not gonna say the name who, I don't really want to get too much detail, but he heard from one of his buddies there, if your guys are ready, there might be something for us. And us being the out of town shooters that we are, always ready. So thank you, Tom, for always keeping us relevant to those guys and in a way helping us get to where we wanted to be.
Well, you're welcome. So yeah, I mean, you guys know I'm a big fan of you guys, and I'm a big fan of AEW, and I really thought it's an awesome fit, and I think there's gonna be a lot of great matches, and I will be there the second that Besties in the World versus Country Air match goes off. Front row and fucking center. So
hell yeah.
Yeah.
When we say, why tell promotions that you want us here, it matters. We really mean it.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna listen to y'all before they listen to us.
We can tell them how good we are, but when the fans let them know, and it means a little bit more. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
but, yeah.
It's all about butts and seats. That's the bottom line.
Yep.
Hell yeah. Friday, surreal moment. Doc and I, that was one of our goals, AEW, singles or tag, and getting to hear hot shit play live in Bourbon Street.
Yeah.
Coming out to Country Grammar was cool. I took that moment to just stand there and embrace it. And yeah, I think we had a really good 6-man tag. Unfortunately, we did not pick up the win. Doc was out here German suplexing guys, and
yeah.
Doc got a little overzealous and got caught up by Axel Rico.
Yep, little too hopped up on pre-workout and Dot Fit protein shake. Rico caught me with the blind side. They picked up the win, but yeah, very surreal moment. It will air on a live whenever that drops, probably in the next couple of weeks on YouTube. Like I said, just can't thank you enough, Tom. Can't thank everybody enough at AEW. Can't thank all the fans that were chanting Country Air and Country Boys and Doc and Zach.
That was something that stuck out too after our match when we left. When I got into the back, I heard Country Air, and I looked at Doc and I was like, all right, we did what we needed to do because we had the people behind us.
Yeah.
Shout out to Karam. Karam is a guy.
Karam's another homie who we always appreciate.
He debuted there, and from day one, Karam is a badass. He doesn't look it. He is the part, but when you get to talk to him, great guy, super knowledgeable, and didn't need to watch our match. He had his own thing to worry about. Watched our match, gave us critiques on what we can do moving forward, and those are the guys we truly appreciate because they're at that level and we want to be there. So for him to take time out of his day to watch our match, just to let us know hey, if you had done this, this would have been mean more, and stuff in that nature. I appreciate anyone who's willing to tell us what we suck at and what we need to get better at, because that's the only way we grow in this business.
Definitely.
And then shout out to Trent. Trent's a guy who took care of us, gave us a lot of great advice as well. And of course, Danny. Danny's very intimidating. He runs a big promotion. But I've never had a promoter walk up to me at the end of the show, make it a point to shake all his talent's hand. Usually they're so busy, they have so much more to do than just shake our hands. but Danny made it a point to shake our hands and even ask us like, "Hey, how'd you guys feel about tonight? You guys happy? You guys happy with what you guys did tonight?" So just like realizing how much he cares about his product and his rosters, like it was I guess like a surreal moment, overwhelming moment, and humbling moment.
Yeah, definitely.
More moments like that.
All right. Okay, so enough with that level of positivity and compassion and love, because Saturday, it was a fight, baby.
Fight, baby. Yeah, we went down to Mattoon, Illinois, which we thought was a match for the 0-1 USA Tag Team Championships, but unfortunately, the champions didn't think we deserved a shot.
They also don't think they need to come to the ring wearing matching gear like a real tag team.
Tag Team 101, baby. Matching gear, matching colors.
Yep.
Yeah, we took on the Premier, which we thought would have been a fair tag match. Unfortunately, before we started the match, while they were saying that bull, talking that shit, we met a guy I used to like, Austin Conley.
Yeah.
We walked up, we were like, "Hey, what's up, bud?" Little did we know he came up with purpose. He attacked us in the back, carried us out by the chain around my neck, carried Doc out. Premier thought, I guess they must have paid him. I don't know how they got the money to pay him if they can't have matching gear.
Yeah.
With me. The Premier thought they had one over on us, but Doc, let them know what happened.
Well, I heard the reaction because I got dragged out near the end, but Country Air came up with the win.
Yeah, we fought back. Very big. We don't go down easy.
Yep.
Hit air buddies. From there, I don't know where Doc went. I know Campbell tried pulling a quick one on me with a roll up holding the tights. Wasn't gonna let that happen because we were told that you win this, you get your championship match. Had Campbell and SK have the meeting of the minds with a little bit of an O'Connor roll. 1, 2, 3, baby. Country will be back for those belts.
Yep, we are the number one contenders now. So Premier, I think you said you were getting those belts shined. We really appreciate that. That's going to look very sweet on our matching gear. You guys should maybe invest in some. You guys kind of suck.
Yeah, we'll give out the shout out one more time. Matt Fitchett gave us a lot of good advice after that match. Advice what we're gonna do to whoop your ass next week and take those belts. So you guys should be upset that we're getting critiqued by one of the best because we're gonna take that advice and take the belts.
Yep. And Perch, how was your weekend?
And it was a good one. I had a banger of a weekend. Wasn't here last week, but this week it just kind of blended together with a full 6 days.
Yeah, go ahead. Let them know where you been.
We'll kick it back to last weekend, starting with Friday. We had a weekend with GCW, Friday and Saturday. Friday, it was GCW in Columbus, and had some fun matchups. That night, it was Tony Deppen against Alex Colon, which was a couple of kind of flag bearers for GCW. So cool to be in the match with both of those guys and to feel that kind of energy. Next match was Big Starks Brand against SGC, which is pretty sweet. Mance and Justice and Effie against Kelvin Tankman, Billy Starks and Cole Radrick. Just a cool atmosphere. Great match. Next one was Alex Shelley against Jordan Oliver. Very top level talent right there. Being able to be in there for a guy like Shelley, who's got as much history as he does, meant a lot, as well as a guy like Jordan Oliver, who is up and coming, and knowing that he's going to take a lot out of this match. It meant a lot to me to give it everything I had. So that was a meaningful match all around, and cool coming out of it. Then hit the road and went to Detroit, Michigan the next day for GCW at Harpo's. an old school rock and roll nightclub. Lots of old rock bands played there. Cool history, and made some cool history this night too. First match I had was a cool scramble match. Yoya ended up jumping off a set of speakers, which was on the stage. So it was like a 2-story leap. It was huge. Crazy stuff. Oliver and Deppen were in there, and I think Deppen ended up getting the win, just stealing the victory. The next match I had was a match I'll remember for the rest of my life, as it was Suzuki, Minoru Suzuki, against Too Cold Scorpio. Talk about bringing the funk to the town. Flash Funk coming into that entrance was as good as it gets. He was just he came out to Jungle Boogie, and that was epic. He brought the house down that night, and then to experience a Suzuki entrance was unreal. Standing next to Emo, it was awesome. He gave it his all as the ring announcer, and yeah, those two had an amazing match. Lots of good history. It was cool to be in the middle of that one. Definitely worth watching back.
I've heard good things about that match.
Yeah, it was two legends going at it, and they put each other to the brink. They were right back in their prime that night. Awesome experience. The next match I got to do was a GCW Ultra Violent Championship match. John Wayne Murdoch, no stranger to him, having wrestled in the Insane 8 and deathmatch shows at ICW Milwaukee. He was defending his title against Hoodfoot, who I had reffed him against Madman Pondo several weeks ago. Those two beat the hell out of each other. Lots of action, lots of glass. Intense match. Very cool to be a part of. Then the main event that night was a scaffolding match. SGC took on the Briscoe brothers. The footage from that and the pictures alone are meant to be put on t-shirts and posters and to be rocked in highlight videos for the rest of forever. It was so cool. 6 tables stacked up, 3 tables in the ring with 3 tables on top of them. Scaffolding on both sides of the ring with planks going across it. It made for an amazing visual. On top of the stage, they were throwing people off the stage through tables. It was a celebration of pro wrestling at the highest degree. And then the next day,
Which incarnation of SGC was it?
It was Mance and Justice.
Nice.
Against the Briscoe brothers.
4 of my favorites.
Oh, it was incredible. That was all referees on deck.
Yeah.
Shout out to AK and Max Recon. We were all out there and all hands on deck, and all the security and Big Vin. Holy smokes, dude! He put that stuff together like a madman. He was the MVP. But yeah, great time. Amazing intensity. Holy smokes. As good as it gets. It harkened back to the Mance Warner AAW championship run, where he was just going through everything. It really gives you a glimpse to what Mance has in the tank. And he was out not too long ago. So cool to see him back here. So awesome to experience. Then I ended up going to Galley Lucha the next day and rocked a few matches and had a blast. Sam Adonis against Cody Jones for the championship match. Very fun. Arez and Aramis were in town. Great to see them as well. Good time all around. And then this weekend had things going with AEW on Friday, where everybody here was there. And I had an absolute blast. Got to do, I think, 5 matches in total. The first one was an alive taping, which I love the alive tapings. My God, we've talked about it on the podcast, how when pro wrestling was coming back, Alive was a big safety for myself in particular, and us to watch and study. Got to rock Joey Jet and Sierra against
Raw is War.
yeah,
That shirt. That's a good one.
that was so cool. Hop on the tour, get the tour shirt.
Yeah.
I got to hop on and catch a tour stop in Chicago at AEW. It was awesome. And just knowing that Sierra worked AEW before any of us, and it was like, whoa, that's someone who we know going to a place like that. You know, it sets the tone, and it shows that we can all do it too. If she can do it and we come from the same place, it shows that on that night we all did it. So just a cool moment, and cool to know where we all come from, and to have someone like Sierra in particular to share it with as well. And Joey Jet as well. The man, the dude, he was on all the posters in Wisconsin. So to experience it with everybody, it's so cool. So cool.
Yeah, and don't sleep on those live tapings too. I mean, obviously this month's live taping is a lot special, or more special to us than usual. But a lot of people that were on that main roster, I mean, Christy Jane, when they come back from the pandemic, on a live. Russ Jones on a live. On the main card, Shaft, Ren Jones, Josh C. These guys all started off on a live, and now they're all on the main card. So you want to see what's coming up. Hint, hint, country air. Catch a lot.
Oh yeah, Arez, Gringo Loco, Black Taurus, Dragon and Canis Lupus, El Hijo. Yeah, they've had unbelievable guys on the live taping. And it brings people in from all over the territories, all over the country. People come driving in, and they really make it a destination for people to go to. AAW Alive on YouTube, definitely worth checking out. And on Fight TV, they've got some shows too, I believe.
Yeah.
AAW On Demand as well. But yeah, fun night all around. Then we rocked the pay-per-view. The first match I had was the scramble match. It was wild. Gringo Loco and Braden Lee, Davey Vega, Shane Hollister. To be on there with Hollister is awesome. Being a guy on the banners, it's awesome to know that I get to experience time in the ring with him, because he's had a career worth having a banner for. Must mean that I can learn something from him, and I do every time. Very cool people to work with inside that match, and loved it. Love a good scramble match to start off the pay-per-view. Then a 6-man tag we talked about earlier. Ren Jones, Rohit, and Karam, the heels, the Rudos, and the other guys. They were against the team of ACH and Josh C, who've been a great tag team. I was thrilled when I was on to scheduled to officiate that match. Those two are putting on a clinic every time they're out. As good as pro wrestling gets, independent wrestling, pushing us to the next level to get as far as we can in wrestling. Those guys are so inspirational. And their tag team partner, Rich Swan, a dude who those two guys look up to, and myself included. Very cool for everybody to push the bar higher and higher, and to push ourselves to the next limit. There's an energy when the crowd feels it, when the wrestlers feel it. It translates through the referee as well. That's when pro wrestling is at its funnest. One of my favorite matches I've ever had the pleasure to officiate. Next one, I had Big Beef against Josh Alexander. Whoa, talk about a good match. Big Beef took on Fred Yehi last month, and they went toe to toe, and until they had nothing left. I'm sure Yehi could have went another 50 minutes if he needed to, but that night it looked like it had as much as they could give, and Big Beef brought it again against Josh Alexander, the newly crowned Impact champion. Great match. Death by pile driver. It was an honorable way to go out. And then speaking of Matt Fitchett, before he put his AEW championship on the line, and it was a good match against another legend, Eric Young. Talk about learning from all these guys in the business and the knowledge and experience from the roads traveled. A guy like EY is just as much an encyclopedia as anybody else. The different eras that people have worked through. It's cool that they're still giving it today, and to experience a match with him was something I couldn't have told you was on my list of wanting to do, but I damn sure will tell you that it is written down in my notebook as an accomplishment to have worked a match with Eric Young. It was awesome, and a good match all the way around. And then we set up the cage, which was pretty damn cool. Then the next day, got things going at Freelance Underground. Had a great time rocking with Donovan this whole weekend, refereeing. So he was here the next day as well. Freelance Underground was sweet. We had the Bitcoin Boys against the Bang Bros, which was fun. Love the Bang Bros. And they're on a different level right now, putting on some phenomenal matches all the way through. Laney Luck and GPA took on Alice Crowley and Big John Crowley. No relation. I think that's their tag team name. I think, at least. That's how the announcer said it. It was perfect.
Like me when I saw it.
I had that thought. Look at that. Still fixing it. And that was at a place where Al Capone used to run stuff. So Thornton, Illinois, Thornton Distillery. Very cool history at that venue. You can feel it. And then Josh Bishop against Jesse V, I believe from Canada, perhaps. But big Josh Bishop, Rip City. Talk about the intensity. Those guys brought it. Big man match. Very fun to be a part of. Last time I was at that venue, Kelvin Takeman took on Kevin Koo, and they brought it. This match, those two gentlemen, Bishop and Jesse, brought it. And that was the only singles match on the card. And then the final match was the Clowns, who Country Air is no stranger to. Yabo and Ruffo against Violence is Forever, Kevin Koo and Dominic Guarini. Good match, good fight. Still the champs, the Clowns. Then got things going at Black Label Pro the next day. Very fun. Doc Simmons was in the house. Had Shazza McKenzie against Alice Crowley. Good match. Awesome to rock the Shazza matches for her time in the States here. It's an incredible talent to work with, and I enjoy every minute. And cool to work with Crowley again. The next one was Billy Starks against Dan the Dad. Bully Starks, she's always been mean. Happens to find that I'm the butt of her heelish antics. So, well, I got one on her when Mouse took a picture as we were watching wrestling. So that's all I need to know. I'm smiling last. And then the last match I had at the weekend was super fun. That was Cody Lane against Josh Alexander. So Tom, you caught him in between. I caught him on the bookends. Great match. Again, he put in a great effort. Death by pile driver once again. Just good weekend. Great wrestling. Independent wrestling is thriving. So much fun to be a part of.
Awesome.
Yeah, now that Perch mentioned the Clowns, I wasn't on the show, but last Thursday, JCW Juggalo Championship Wrestling was in Milwaukee. I worked late, but I got to get there for the last half of the show. I got to see Vampiro versus Officer Colt Cabana. I've never got to see Officer Colt Cabana live. Such a goofy guy, but he puts Perch in a running for a guy who runs authority and lets a crowd know the business. It was super cool to see him Vampiro live. He's been wrestling for 50 plus years, so just to still see him doing his thing. And then the only other match I got to see, which I thought out of the two matches was, maybe I'm biased to tag wrestling, but it was the Bang Bros versus Ruff and Yabo for the JCW Tag Team Championships. And man, they had the crowd at the palm of their hand. Super good. Yabo's little lollipop gimmick he comes out with, August Matthew took and crushed it on the back of Yabo's head.
Mhm.
Just a fun match. Got to make my debut sweep in the ring. So, yeah, I forgot to mention Juggalo Championship Wrestling was in Milwaukee last Thursday. Great. The crowd was huge. Great show from what I saw.
Nice. All
That
right.
was that was the rave, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And by the way, Doc and Zach, I don't know if you've seen it, but if you had a chance, check out that Gnarls Garvin versus Fred Yehi match Perch was talking about from last month, dude. It's definitely a match of the year contender.
Nice. I like Gnarls. Gnarls is a good guy. He's always been nice when we run into him. So
Yeah,
I do enjoy him.
Where's he from? Because I'd never heard of him until last month, and I was like, "Holy, where'd this guy come from?"
I think he's an Indiana guy.
He's Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty he's always doing those Indiana shows at the famous arena. But yeah, he's a Kentucky guy.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, my buddy Andy was there, and he just texted me. He's like, "Yeah," because I wasn't watching live. He's like, "Yeah, when you watch the replay, catch this match first." So I was like, "All right."
Nice.
So
Nice. All right. So our topic this week, it is The Rock's birthday. And he was I shouldn't say he was trending on Twitter, but Steve Austin was trending on Twitter today because they are going to do a segment on Young Rock, I guess, when he first gets backstage and meets a lot of the guys. And they had a bunch of pictures of actors as Steve Austin and Undertaker and Mankind and Triple H. And it just got me thinking, what is a backstage segment or just any Rock segment that you think you would like to see on a Young Rock show, to see produced on a TV show? Let's start with our special guest. High five, Tom.
well, I had to go back in the memory bank, and there was two that came to mind. I think that would be really fun. The first one actually is more generated towards the other person in the promo, but it's the Y2J introduction.
Okay.
Yes, The Rock was only very brief in that promo, but it'd be fun to see what they could do with that. I mean, working the Chris Jericho in there and everything. And then obviously The Rock. And then the other one is the legendary Mick Foley Rock, This Is Your Life.
Okay.
Which I think they could have a lot of fun with. And read, if you haven't read Mick Foley's Have a Nice Day, I reckon it's recommended reading for not even wrestling fans. But he talked pretty at length about that promo and how hard they worked on it. So I think it'd be fun to see that translate to TV. So
Awesome.
yeah, it sounds like Luke Hawks of Hawks Aries is actually playing Steve Austin. So
yeah. The Triple H looks on point. I will say, Luke Hawks and Steve Austin, even as a ringmaster, I don't know. But I think they got somebody perfect for Triple H. Perch, what Rock moment would you like to see on a television show?
Man, this would be a straight up. You could go many directions with this, turn it into a drama for a series, but it would be the whole Nation of Domination era.
Okay.
And how he, starts and gets put with those guys. How the crowd hated him to the point, and he was hated going into it, hated during it, but the dynamic and the way it changed, but how those guys backstage would have worked with a guy like Ron Simmons and spreading the wisdom and sharing the knowledge that he has, being the veteran. I would love to see the dynamic and the inner workings. It would be like a good after school drama. And I think that would be cool. And then the way he eventually takes over and leaves them behind, I think that would be interesting. Otherwise, another thing that came to mind would be the Stephanie McMahon and Jericho era, but that would just be a one-off episode. It would just be a maybe even just a reference to. Oh yeah, we got a few of those promos tonight, because that was just outrageous. But yeah, I think you could do a real good, compelling TV with a Nation of Domination Rock era segments.
Awesome. And for my very attractive tag partner.
I originally was gonna go with the Jericho, but I don't want to copy Tom.
Oh, sorry.
This is kind of copying Perch, but I used to I listened to Talk is Jericho, and they had Mark Henry on. And Mark Henry talked about young in his career, him and Rock were actually roommates when they were both like training and developmental. So I wouldn't want to I get he has a lot of famous segments, but I like to see maybe him and Mark Henry as the roommates and how they help push each other. Like Rock Henry would say he would be in bed and Rock would be like, let's go, hit the gym, and Rock was just always on it. So I'd like to see maybe Rock before he even got there. I don't know if they have done that. I haven't watched the show, to be honest.
I think they're up to that point yet. Yeah, I haven't really watched it.
But yeah, I would like to see his early developmental career where he's learning everything, and him living with Mark Henry and stuff in that nature.
Okay. God, y'all kind of picked some wholesome ones. I'm going with WrestleMania 27 when he comes back and hosts. To me, that's just kind of such a weird show and how they use him. I would love for a produced show of just everything that went into that show. I mean, just some of the segments are weird, and then obviously you got the ending going into the story that they're going to build for the next year. So I think something I just think it's interesting how WWE planned some of these things. So I think something like that into WrestleMania, their biggest show of the year, and the one where he comes back, I think would be really fun.
Yeah, aren't they on the third season of that show or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. It's doing decently well.
I just can't believe that motherfucker's 50.
Yeah. I hope I look that good.
Yeah, and he don't look 50, so.
Not at all.
I've had a Rock action figure in my room for just about my entire life. Prominently displayed.
Yeah,
it's sideburns and sunglasses. Good Rock era.
Yeah, and for a good year and a half, 2 years, he was getting go away heat for forever. Those die Rocky die chants, and now he's the biggest actor in the world.
Yep.
So
he's done it all.
Say what you will about Vince McMahon, but he knows more about booking wrestling than I do right now. So.
And hey, and national championship with University of Miami.
Yeah. So
what else do you need, Rock?
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, what else do you need to accomplish?
Well, now he's got his own football league, so
yeah. Excited for the XFL to come back though. That should be fun.
Yeah.
A little fun experiment. All right, now we're winding down. Why don't we talk about what we got coming up this week? I know we talked about it a little before the show, but Tom.
Really, yeah, I ain't got much. Let's just I'm tomorrow I start with my buddy Justin. So all of my stuff's usually podcast related. So tomorrow it'll be the first installment. We are reviewing the Cruiserweight Classic from NXT.
Oh.
I have never seen it, so I still don't know what happens.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I had just gotten into NXT shortly after that ended. That's the first episode, so that'll probably drop later in the week, and then I'll probably record in Ring of Honor. currently having issues with my honor club, so I'm not sure I'm going to watch said Ring of Honor. But other than that, just working and saving up money to go to all these wrestling events after that. So
We appreciate.
yeah, I'll be at Miller Park Wednesday and Thursday. So if anybody wants to see me, stop on by. So although I won't be rocking my visor and my Hawaiian shirt at work though. So
you get business, Tom. Business.
yep. Still got the mohawk and the goatee, but just no visor, Hawaiian shirt. So
There you go. All right, Zach, what do we got this weekend?
Well, I think shockingly right now we're open.
Yes, we are. Some things got rescheduled. So as of right now, we're open. Always looking. So, if you guys know some shows, throw them our way. We'll see if we can pop up wherever. Perch, what you got?
I think we're gonna find a Waffle House somewhere. Maybe a IHOP. That's the weekend plans on my end.
There we go. Podcast right now, just taking a break. It looks like. Yeah. I do have food plans for this weekend. Gonna do a seafood boil. So excited for that.
nice.
Yeah, gonna try that. So that should hopefully be fun. All right. And lastly, any final thoughts, Tom?
No, nothing really. Just listen, I just want to take, I appreciate you guys, having me on. It's always good to be able to chat with people. It's not face to face, but not even wrestling related. And you guys are always welcome to come on one of my podcasts. I said Perch and we're gonna do a review of this thing, so we don't even have to talk wrestling. So it's kind of I do this thing where like I talk like non-wrestling with like my wrestling friends. So yeah, if you guys ever want to talk about an album or a book or a movie or something, you guys are always more than welcome. But thanks for all you guys do. I put the people together, but at the end of the day, you guys do all the hard work. And I, especially after all the driving I did this weekend, I don't know how the fuck you guys do it. So kudos to you guys.
Thank you. Zach sleeps and looks pretty. Zach, any final thoughts?
First of all, yes, I do sleep, but you sleep in the afternoon, which is no excuse. I do all the Doc does all the hard driving, but nothing. I mean, only thing I can think of is very interested to see where the Bullet Club's going now with Juice Robinson a part of it.
Yeah, I saw that. He looks good.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked because like you saw the reports, which I mean, I believe some of these reports are to swerve us, and I always love a good swerve where it says Juice Robinson supposedly done with New Japan Pro Wrestling. He wants to be a stay-at-home dad, and boom, joining the Bullet Club. Love it.
Nice. And Perch, final thoughts.
Yeah. Shout out to a couple of guys who were in the trenches with me all 3 days this weekend. Camera guy Gimmick, no stranger to this podcast, been taking pictures in the trenches all 3 days this weekend. AEW, Freelance Underground, and Black Label Pro. And shout out to Donovan, part of the ring crew and driving that truck, making sure that ring goes up and we all get it handled. And the cage on Friday night starting off the weekend. And just the same, we were back to back reffing side by side. Awesome to be reffing with Donovan and to kind of pick his brain and have him tell me from his experiences. So I love being in there with good people, and sometimes you see people 2 days, 1 day, you hop on the tour.
Yep.
Some people are there for all days, and it's great. It's a good celebration of pro wrestling going on.
And that is a perfect place to go ahead and take it home. This has been the Take It Home podcast. Y'all be easy. 1.
Yeah.